Hi, Carl Ford here in Atlanta at WebRTC Conference and Expo. Here at the Cobb Galleria, I'm with Bruce Mahler, who's Vice President, Director. Director. I have tell Jado and I said you're Vice President.
I'll take it now.
So of sales engineering.
Yes.
Which means that you know how to get things done.
It means we better make it work.
Exactly. That's the hard part of CafeX, is making it so that you understand the customer's requirements and get it done. However, right off the bat, that leads us into the fact that you guys have made this amazing statement that with 2 lines of code, you can enable them. Can you talk about that a bit?
Absolutely. Our mantra as a company has really been put the developer first, right? So our goal is to really enable real communications with customers in a mobile or web application, and then drive that context and communication back into the existing contact center infrastructure, but do it in a way that developers can actually build a great application without focusing on all the complex technology like SIP and all the contact center stuff that we as an industry are so proud of, but developers really don't care about. So our goal has been, how can we really enable this simply? And we do it. 2 lines of code in an iOS app, Objective-C or JavaScript or Android. Our goal is, how can we enable co-browsing, voice, video, annotation, document sharing, all in just a couple lines. And we thank our developers for focusing on the developer first and then enabling that communication.
Okay, now having said that, one of the things that you guys have been focused in on is specifically the healthcare industry. So can you talk about that a bit?
Sure. We've actually seen great uptake in the healthcare industry. We as a company have shown a lot of success in the financial industry just due to a lot of early interest in WebRTC, but we really see a lot of success right now in the healthcare world. And what you're seeing is a lot of underserved markets that are actually looking for access, remote access to specialists, to urgent care facilities that may need to help somebody with a rapid, maybe a broken arm. How do I fix this right now? I don't have access to somebody that can do this. How can I quickly get communication to a doctor when I'm in this underserved community? We're seeing a lot of access to healthcare providers through WebRTC using that. But I think what you're finding, though, is it's not just the voice and video communication that comes from that's important. It's the fact that you have to put that kind of context around it. So when you make that communication to that healthcare provider, you need to be able to pass securely patient data, maybe x-ray photos, all the applications that maybe that healthcare provider currently has in an iOS application or an Android application. You need to be able to embed in those current applications to extend that communication out to those healthcare providers. And that's what we see a lot of interest in. The other thing we're seeing is aftercare. Right, so a lot of these healthcare providers have, and insurance companies for that matter, have portals. They have access to their customer information. They're looking to contact them, but it becomes I'm looking at this customer information. They have an appointment. Now I have to pick up my phone, dial them, and it becomes a broken experience. So what we see a lot of people doing is, how can I enable rapid communication from my portal that I'm sitting here looking in already with this patient data, and then drive communication back to that customer or back to their family members and bring them into a conference or something in either, say, a mobile app or a web app, or basically on their PSTN phone going WebRTC to SIP, right from that, I'll say, healthcare provider's desktop. So we see aftercare functions, communicating with people that way, as well as voice and video and remote care providers.
Okay, and stay right there, because you're being recognized for your abilities, and one of the places you were recognized is by Frost & Sullivan. So tell me about that award you won.
Yeah, so we actually won the award for New Product Innovation for this year for mobile and web customer engagement. And that really has come a lot from our Live Assist product. Our Live Assist product, as we talked about the 2 lines of code just like a couple seconds ago, which, by the way, I love when people challenge us on that, because we can prove that. We actually have been recognized because we can do seamless integration of co-browsing, annotation, document sharing, all those things I talked about before. But when we do that, we take the context with it. So it's not like we just say, here's this web-based communication and you have to change all your contact center infrastructure on the inside of the network, right? You don't have to, you have to change your Cisco UCCE or Genesis equipment. We don't tell them they have to do that. We've enabled all these great functions within the web and mobile apps, but the enterprise can keep their contact center infrastructure as it sets, and we actually enable that extension from the contact center back to the customer's modality of choice for communication. And that's really what we're being recognized for, is that ability to extend that context and that communication back into the contact center as it sits today, rather than having to rebuild the whole infrastructure.
Okay, so Bruce, in closing, I want to make it so that you turn this way and you tell people the domain name, because CafeX can be somewhat confusing to us as to how we actually get to the domain. So what's the domain name?
CafeX.com, CAFEX.com.
No dashes, no capitals, all that great stuff.
CafeX.com.
Excellent. Bruce, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you very much. Thanks.